evening, everyone. What you are about to hear is a speech from a 22 years old CEO and founder of a 4 years old IELTS center. The one that has to deal with a great deal of partners, employees, collaborators, agencies, and so on. So I hope you don't judge me by my age, but my experience that I'm willing to share right now. My parents always teach me to think before speak. Yours do the same, I guess. But standing here right now, I'm seeking honesty. How often do you break other people's hearts by misusing words and careless choices of actions? You may now calculate the frequency of such hurtful occasions in which you are the main cause. But believe me, we don't care that much, or even have a tendency to ignore if that victim is not in our intimate circle. But what if, when it comes to your beloved one, mother, father, boyfriend, it becomes a different story now, doesn't it? But what I don't really get is why, even though we try to remind ourselves carelessly that we will be more careful next time, we will just do it anyway, hurting other people mentally. But sometimes we don't hurt people on purpose and by accident. Some critics may say that people are the product of situations and even the slave of emotions. Are you falling for that? But if that is true, the world we are living in, the one that we are so proud to say that only human being is the living species, the greatest and the most intelligent among the rest of the animal kingdom, that world will be full of brutality, cruelty, ignorance, and depression. So, here's my promise. If you listen to my speech entirely, without sleeping in between, I guarantee that you will get my humble and simple experience to better communicate. I don't want to make it complicated for all of you. Your life already does. So here, just as simple as I say. There are only 4 letters you should remember when communicating. The first one, S. What does it stand for? It stands for smile. You don't want to waste the first 3 valuable seconds of first impression being established by being in a down mood, right? Did you know that by being in a jolly mood, all people surrounding you will find you more approachable? And that is the opportunity you should catch to extend your relationships. But here is a trick. We often think that our brain and our emotion can control our action and behavior. But we can reverse that ideology by just firstly smiling, and that will send a positive signal to your brain to say that, hey, you are happy, please be more happy. Is that true? I agree with you, that is true. So I would like to spend the next 30 seconds for all of you here to try an illustration. Now, right now, try to turn on to the next person sitting next to you. Say hello to them and smile with them. Like this. Hello. Hello. If you don't have a one to say hello and smile to, you can smile to me. I'm always here, and you are not alone. Can you feel the difference now? Can you feel the person sitting next to you is not that distant, and you may feel more familiar with them, right? Can you feel that the room you are sitting now, the atmosphere is less cold, but now filled with full of coziness? The next letter, S. Can you guess what it stands for? I am just testing your attention. The next letter is actually C. Can you guess what does it stand for? It stands for compliment. Do you know where is the next stop of some crazy rich millionaires? Do you know what people want after their goal of finance is achieved? Everyone is desirable of compliment and recognition. Just imagine that you are dating with a girl and she's wearing a beautiful dress. You give compliments on her. Do you think that you would be more beneficial because she will even be more careful to choose the next dress when going on the next date with you? Let's try to illustrate in a business world. Just imagine that you are a manager, a boss, and your employee working so hard for you. You give them compliments. Don't you think that that person will even work harder on the next day? And that also applies in the academic setting. When your friend do the work for you, just give them compliments. But be careful, because people are now so intelligent, and they can spot if you are a liar. When complimenting and praising and giving good words, please be reminded that it has to be true. So, I would like all of you right now looking at the person next to you again. Pick one feature that you think that deserves to be praised. And starting by saying, I like your dress. I like your friendliness. I like your humbleness. Can you do that for me? Are you feeling warmer? I see some laugh. I hope you enjoy. And we are moving on to the next letter, which stands the next letter, C again. What does it stand for? It stands for care. Imagine you are having a crush on someone. Imagine you're liking someone first. Will you stand right here, stand very still, do nothing, and be regretful because that person is going with other girls? Or you make a first move first. People won't care you until you care them first. When you give attention to them, you will feel even more happiness. But what is the first step when you stop caring? becoming a teacher and also a CEO of a teaching institution, I have learned one very simple principle. I want to ask you, in a classroom setting, out of 100%, how much should the teacher say to the students? Raise your hands if you think the teacher should say all the time 100% of the class time. No one. Again, raise your hands if you think the teacher should spend 75% of the class time only speaking and teaching. Still no one. Okay, raise your hands. Okay, I saw you raising your hand. Okay, raise your hand if you think that the teacher should spend 50% of the class time on speaking and teaching. Right now I saw a lot, but the fact is not 50%, less than that. I was really surprised when I knew the information. Raise your hand if you believe that the recommendation time is only 30% of the class time. And that is how we call engaging technique of teaching. When the teacher speaks too much, don't you think that he or she won't find the weaknesses of the student? And that will become a passive environment of teaching and learning. Now let's try in the business world. I'm also a head sales. If you have a customer and you try to sell a product to him, do you think that we should say all the time? Do you think that will help? Or we try to find that customer core issue? The best way to approach is by listening. You will find what is the real problem that the customer is facing. We are all born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. There is one saying, a silly one that I really like. I hope you enjoy. The more you speak, the more likely you are running out ideas and become an idiot. So a way of communicating is just by listening. In IELTS, remember, when you speak too much, in part 1, above 3 or 4 sentences, you will now entering a loop of repeating yourself. So next time, listening, remember, is the first step of starting caring someone. Then we are coming to the final letter, S. Now, can you make guess what does it stand for? S. It stands for self-awareness. I mean, self-reflection. Every day is full of opportunities for you to become better. And everyone can be trained to be perfect. It is my practice every night that I will reflect and think about all conversation that I have during the day and try to think of one that can help me improve. You should try to pay more attention to the conversation that you are not satisfied with, and that is how you improve. Okay, so once again, my name is Minh Chi, and I'm a 22 years old CEO and founder of an IELTS center. I haven't become a master of communication yet, and I still hurt a feel of people feeling. Which means that you all here, are not alone, because you have me on a journey of becoming the one that can use words positively and win other people's hearts. Thank you so much.